everybody. My name's Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. I'm going to talk about a very serious subject today. I've talked about it before, but it was brought to my attention that, I should probably talk about it again. So I'm going to do that. I'm talking about the importance of having your affairs in order. Nobody knows how long we have. Nobody knows what the future is. It's, we could be 20 years old and something strike us down. We can be 100 years old and something strike us down. We don't know. And if you don't have your affairs in order, your family has to take care of all of that. And it's not really fair on them. And it gives you a great peace of mind to know that you have things done. And it doesn't have to be big things. Everybody, of course, says, you should pay for your funeral. Okay, that's fine, that you can do that. But it's more important to have your wishes expressed as to what you want done. So here in Alberta, we have what's called a personal directive, and you assign somebody the job of being your spokesperson if you can't speak for yourself. And they're the person that you tell all your wishes to. And, it's important that you have somebody that you trust to do that. It's also important that not only do you trust that person, but that they have your best interests at heart. For me, it's Claudine. I mean, I could have either of my children do it. Claudine is going to be the executor of a will. So therefore, he will deal with the finances, and Claudine will deal with the medical stuff. And it divides it up, and neither one of them wants to think about having to do it, but it's a reality of it. We don't want to do it if they should go first. We don't want to do that. Nobody wants to think about that, but you need to be prepared. Another thing, your budget. Usually one or the other takes care of the bookkeeping. In our household, I take care of the bookkeeping. Bill earned the money, I spent the money. It was a great system. But if we didn't do it that way, we probably would have been in the poorhouse for sure, because Bill wouldn't have a clue how much money we had. He looked at the bank balance and would say, oh, we have this much. And I'd say, yes, but we got this payment to come out and this to pay, and we have to do this. He didn't think of the big picture. So I've always done it. Well, I said, something happens to me first. He's not going to have a clue what to do. And Claudine, she'll know what to do, but she doesn't know what all our bills are. So I have a budget book, which I faithfully keep a budget in, and I have got a page at the very front. This is what we usually get in money in. This is what bills come out. This is what directly comes out. This is what I go online to pay. I have it all written down there. I said, if something happens to me before the first of the next month, just open that page. It will tell you exactly what has to be paid. And then I said, once you've done it once, you'll know for the next time, because the bills are the same every month. So I think that it's important that people plan those things. They all say they know that they want to be cremated or they want to be buried. But what do they want done? If they're cremated, what do they want done with their ashes? If they want something special done, they need to express that to somebody. And the best person to express it to is one of your family members, and then you do it. Now, I have a very strange request. I mean, there's people who have very strange requests all over the place. And I have a very strange request, and Claudine thinks I'm out to lunch on it, but that doesn't matter. It's what I want, and Bill has agreed that that's what we want, and then we're going to take care of it. And she says, well, if that's what you want, she says, we'll do it. So it's one of those things that if I hadn't expressed that, she wouldn't know it. So anyway, that's my little harping about getting things ready. I know my mom and dad had both everything all set up. Mom said what songs she wanted sung at her service and all the rest of it. Bill and I don't want a service. Like we said we'd rather put money into a fund and say to everybody who wants to remember us, go out to have a nice meal and tell a funny story about us. We don't want, maudlin things, that's just not what we want. So anyway, I think that it's important that you express that to people, and enough said about that. That's the importance of it. Okay, now let's get on to something a bit more fun. I'm going to tell you a story about camping with my parents. They had an old tent trailer, really old. And it had like, you put the two sides out and two people could sleep on one side and two people could sleep on the other side. Sounds like a great plan. There's 3 children and 2 adults. So there was no way us 3 kids were sleeping in that bed together. We said 2 of us will sleep in. It doesn't matter which 2, but 2 of us are on the bed, but not 3. And so they said, okay, well, we're going to take turns and we're going to rotate. Mom and Dad always stayed on their side on the bed. And every night we rotated. 2 people were on the bed and 1 person had to go on the floor between the 2 beds. And that was fine. Excuse me for one moment. I'm back. My brother was calling and I got a chance to talk to my dad, which was really nice. But I had a little trouble shutting the machine off and I ended up recording my entire conversation with my brother and my dad. So, craziness. So anyway, sorry about that look on my face because I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Anyway, back to my story. I was telling you about the third person having to sleep on the floor. Well, we didn't mind it. It wasn't, it wasn't uncomfortable or anything. I mean, we made a nice pallet down there and whatnot. Well, there's a little metal door at the bottom there. And we used to put our feet at that door, right? Well, when it was Grant's turn, he put his head at that end. And that was the night that a bear decided to come through the campground and poke his nose in right where Grant was. And we heard this snorting going on and we looked over in the nighttime and there was Grant sound asleep with his head right at that doorway and this bear's nose coming in and just giving a sniff. We would have been in trouble had he come through there. But no, he didn't. He wandered off and whatnot. But we said to him the next morning, didn't you be terrified? He goes, I didn't even know what happened. I slept through it. Craziness. Anyway, the other thing is, I told a story once before about camping. And we had the Black Panther that Bill's mom had decided that she was going to give the kids. And it was like this giant stuffed Black Panther. And we had all kinds of fun at the campground with it. We put it looking like it was coming over the rocks and waited for people to freak out. And we just sat by the fire and laughed. And, we had so much fun with it. But anyway, there was no way we could get it home without doing something strange. So we had to tie it to the roof of the car. So here we had a little white car. And we had a Black Panther on the top of it. Nobody could tell whether it was real or wasn't real on the top of it. And we had to drive home up country with that panther up there. Well, I was going through photographs the other day and I came across a picture of that. So I thought at the end of this video, I'm going to pop that picture on. So if any of you remember seeing the story about the Black Panther, this is the panther that we were talking about. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to see you all tomorrow.